Okay, imagine this for a second. Radioactive wasp nests, and they're found right next to nuclear weapons waste.
Yeah, sounds like something straight out of a bad sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
It really does. But today, we're telling you this is actually real. It's a strange and pretty captivating reality. So we're doing a deep dive into this unexpected meeting point between nature and our whole nuclear legacy. We're looking at research, reports from these nuclear sites, and some of the, frankly, unique environmental challenges they face.
And our mission here for you is really to pull out the key insights from this, honestly, pretty wild story. We'll dig into the history, look at the cleanup challenges that are still going on, and what these bizarre incidents teach us, especially about managing these incredibly powerful forces we've, well, unleashed.
Yeah.
And that's becoming even more relevant now, right? With energy demands just going up and up.
Absolutely. So let's go back a bit, set the scene. It's 2003 at the Hanford Site in Washington State. Huge place. And while, the humans are busy doing their thing, these little mud dauber wasps, they were busy too, building thousands of nests.
But not just any nests.
No, exactly. Contaminated nests. They weren't just using regular mud. These wasps were specifically collecting cesium and cobalt isotopes.
Yes, scraping them right off a former nuclear fuel storage basin. It's kind of incredible, the instinct there.
It is. And what's really striking is that even though the wasps, they're long gone now, their little radioactive real estate developments are still a problem, a real hazard for the cleanup crews today.
Right. The adaptability is amazing. Using highly radioactive stuff for nests, that means those structures themselves remain dangerous for a long, long time after the wasps have moved on, so to speak.
Yeah.
And just so you know, cesium and cobalt isotopes, they're serious business. Byproducts of fission, very radioactive, long half-lives, not something you want lying around.
It really makes you step back and ask, okay, hold on. What exactly is this Hanford site? Where did it come from?
Right. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, Hanford was, well, it was massive. A key part of the Manhattan Project back in the 1940s. That whole secret push for the first atomic weapons.
The very first ones.
Yeah, it produced the plutonium for the first ever atomic bomb test and also for the bomb dropped on Nagasaki. A huge and tragic legacy. And the cleanup, I mean, the scale is just staggering. It's been going on for decades now. Over $50 billion spent already near the Columbia River.
$50 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not just about the money. It's this massive, unprecedented environmental cleanup job.
And what a job it must be. I mean, think about the actual process. They had excavators digging through 75 acres of contaminated soil. Spicy soil, as one source put it.
Right. Digging up wasp condominiums made of radioactive mud.
It sounds like the world's absolute most dangerous landscaping project. You can just imagine the conversation, right? Honey, I dug up the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it glowing before you started? But, worker safety is obviously a huge concern there. It's interesting, though. While workers are protected, like inside enclosed vehicle cabs, the sources mention that for some specific tasks near this stuff, special protective clothing isn't always mandatory.
Really? That sounds counterintuitive.
It does, but it apparently highlights how specific and localized some of the contamination can be.
Yeah.
And how the safety protocols are really tailored. It's not always like a full hazmat suit situation, which I think surprises people.
Okay, I see. So after all that digging and removing, then what? Restoration?
Yeah, eventually. They spent around $25,000 on replanting vegetation across the site after this particular cleanup phase.
Which is necessary, of course, trying to bring the environment back. Though you do kind of wonder what interesting new plants might pop up there eventually. Probably not for the local farmers market, though.
Probably not.
Now, you'd think, okay, Hanford, radioactive wasps. That's a weird one-off. A strange footnote in nuclear history.
You would think that.
But the story actually continues, very recently, in fact, July 2025, just when you thought it was safe to go back to the nuclear waste facility.
Uh-oh.
Yep, another radioactive wasp nest was discovered.
Wow. Okay, where this time? Not Hanford again?
No, this time it was at the Savannah River Site, down in South Carolina.
Savannah River, right. Another major site. And was this one bad?
Oh, yeah. This nest had radiation levels measured at 10 times the federal safety limits.
10 times. Okay, that's seriously high. That's an immediate health risk, right?
Absolutely. Significant risk for anyone exposed without protection. And yes, it was found near waste tanks. Similar situation.
Were there wasps in it this time?
No, thankfully no wasps in the specific nest when they found it, but the nest itself was still a major hazard for the crews working there.
Got it. And Savannah River, that also has quite a history, doesn't it?
It does. It used to produce plutonium pits, the cores for nuclear weapons during the Cold War. Now, like Hanford, its focus is largely on cleanup, but also some nuclear fuel production.
So 2 different sites, decades apart, same weird problem, wasps building radioactive nests.
Exactly. And these incidents, they really go beyond just the technical challenges, don't they? They highlight the kind of human side of working in these bizarre, unpredictable places. There's a quote from Todd Nelson, a Hanford spokesperson. He just said, "You don't know what you're going to run into," which sums it up perfectly, I think.
Yeah, it really does. And it brings up other issues too, like transparency.
How so?
Well, Tom Clements, he's a watchdog who keeps an eye on these sites. He's voiced concern that maybe the information about all the contamination sources isn't always complete. It raises that question, is everything being disclosed? Or all the potential, really unexpected hazards being shared, like radioactive squirrels, perhaps?
Right. Are they telling us about the radioactive squirrels yet? And you just have to feel for the cleanup workers and all this.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine reading your job description, radiation safety, heavy equipment operation. Nowhere does it mention radioactive wasp nest removal.
Definitely not in the standard training manual, I bet. It shows these unseen challenges they face, not just the known risks, but these completely random interactions with nature.
And what's really wild, this is where it gets kind of fun in a weird way.
Okay.
These real-life events, they sound so much like old B-movies.
Huh. Yeah, like what?
Well, think about movies like The Nest from '88. Cockroaches near a waste facility that develop a taste for humans.
Oh, I vaguely remember that one.
Or Slugs, also '88. Killer slugs terrorizing a town after crawling through toxic waste.
Because regular slugs weren't scary enough.
Right. An Alligator from 1980. Giant gator in the sewers after eating contaminated lab animals thrown out.
The ultimate toilet nightmare.
Okay.
I see the parallel. It's life imitating B-movie art.
It's uncanny. It's almost like these movies were tapping into this subconscious anxiety about, what happens when our waste meets the wild. What weird things could happen.
Exactly. It's less about them predicting wasps specifically and more about capturing that theme, the unintended biological consequences when our hazardous activities mix with the environment.
Yeah.
Nature, it seems, has a knack for finding really surprising ways for things to go wrong, or at least for contamination to spread. There's a quote in Slugs, I think someone asks, what's next? Demented crickets. And the reality seems to be, well, nature might already be working on it.
Okay, so let's bring this back to today. What does all this actually mean for us now going forward? We're seeing this huge surge in energy demand, right? Especially with AI servers needing just tons and tons of power, like feed me Seymour levels of energy.
It's a massive increase.
And nuclear power is often discussed as a solution.
Yeah.
So as we think about building more nuclear plants to meet this demand, what lessons should we be taking from this whole radioactive wasp saga?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the $50 billion question,
I
given
don't know.
Hanford's cleanup costs. Look, nuclear power offers that crucial carbon-free energy. We need that for energy independence, for climate goals, no question. But Hanford and these WASP incidents, they're like a giant flashing sign saying, here's what not to do when it comes to managing the waste.
Right, a cautionary tale.
Exactly. This weird intersection of nature and our nuclear leftovers really highlights a key challenge. As AI drives up energy needs, we potentially build more nuclear. How do we make sure we plan meticulously? How do we avoid these long-term unforeseen environmental messes, knowing how, well, creative nature can be in finding ways for contamination to pop up unexpectedly? Every AI training run potentially enabling the next generation of mutant insects feels a bit dramatic,
But the core point stands. Okay, so how do we build nuclear plants more responsibly then? What are the practical steps to avoid, radioactive wasp condos version 2.0?
well, the sources we looked at point to a few key things.
Right.
First off, better reactor design. That's a big one.
Right.
Meaning things like smaller physical footprints for the plants, more built-in safety features right from the start, and maybe, jokingly, some anti-wasp technology for waste handling areas.
Integrated pest control.
Something like that. But seriously, while new designs are inherently safer and might generate less waste overall, you still can't predict every single weird thing nature might do. Like, wasps deciding radioactive mud is prime real estate.
Okay, so better design helps, but isn't foolproof. What else?
Waste minimization. Seems obvious, but it's crucial. The less waste you generate in the first place, the fewer opportunities there are for, well, creatures great and small to interact with it, strangely.
Makes sense. Less hazardous material lying around equals less chance for a problem.
Right. And future archaeologists digging around in a few thousand years will probably thank us for not leaving them intricate radioactive wasp puzzles to solve.
Good point. Anything else?
Yeah, one more angle is using technology itself, like AI monitoring.
Using AI to watch nuclear sites.
Potentially, yeah. You could train AI systems to constantly monitor sites for unusual activity. Imagine an AI flagging. Anomaly detected. Sudden increase in insect traffic near Containment Unit 3. Patterns consistent with carrying small, glowing particles.
Okay, that's intriguing. A bit sci-fi itself.
It is. But it could be a tool. Of course, you'd need serious safeguards. You don't want the AI monitoring the nuclear site to decide wasps are a threat and initiate its own pest control protocol. No Terminator meets them. Crossover scenarios, please.
Definitely not. Okay, so better design, less waste, maybe smarter monitoring. You know, these little reminders from nature about our nuclear past?
Yeah.
It really is like that embarrassing old photo that keeps popping up online.
Yeah. Except, with more long-lasting radioactive isotopes.
Right. It kind of makes you think maybe the scariest B-movies weren't entirely fiction. Maybe they were accidentally documentaries in some weird way.
It raises an important question, though. What should you, the listener, really take away from all this?
Yeah, what are the key lessons here?
I think there are three main things. First, always plan for the unexpected. Even tiny creatures like wasps can cause massive headaches when nuclear materials are involved.
Okay, expect the unexpected. Got it.
Second, respect nature's creativity. Or maybe it's sheer randomness. If there's a weird, unforeseen way for contamination to become a problem, nature seems disturbingly good at finding it.
Nature finds a way, even if it's a radioactive way.
Pretty much. And third, stay vigilant. With nuclear waste, the job is never really done. You have to keep monitoring, keep managing, keep one eye on the waste, and maybe keep another eye out for those demented crickets potentially lurking nearby.
Vigilance is key. So here's something to leave you with, a final thought to chew on. What other kinds of unforeseen interactions between our most advanced technologies, AI, biotech, whatever comes next in the natural world, might be waiting just around the corner to surprise us, especially as our tech footprint just keeps getting bigger and bigger across the globe?